A comeback isn't just about techers. It's instinct, it's desperation, and it's wounded pride. And when everything seems lost, that's when the magic happens. It wasn't luck, it was pure passion. It was madness, it was pure football. Today, you're gonna see part 2 of the legendary comebacks that were straight up unbelievable. Kicking things off with the GOAT of all Champions League comebacks. Barcelona versus PSG, quarterfinals of the 2016-17 season. Barca got absolutely battered in the first leg, 4-0 to PSG in Paris. The mission was pretty much impossible, but that night at the Camp Nou, the impossible became reality. Less than 3 minutes in, the magic started to unfold. Midfielder Rafinha floated the ball in from the right, and the defender Marquinhos tried to head it clear but sent it backwards. The midfielder Verratti couldn't get it under control, and Suárez popped up out of nowhere, getting his head on it with a diving header as the keeper trap came out. 1-0, hope was alive. The second one came before the first half was even over. Suárez tried to find Iniesta inside the box. Marquinhos tried to intercept, but the Barca maestro won it back and with his back to goal, hit a cheeky back heel. The fullback Kurzawa tried to clear it and ended up scoring an own goal. 2-0, the Camp Nou was absolutely buzzing. Right after the break, more drama. Iniesta played Neymar in down the left. The fullback Meunier slipped while trying to cut out the play. Neymar burst into the box and was brought down. Penalty. Messi smashed it top bins, giving Trap no chance. 3-0. The impossible was just 1 goal away, but PSG still had Cavani. Right after, Meunier made a sick play, flicked it over Neymar's head, and sent in a low cross. The Uruguayan got ahead of the midfielder Mascherano and hit it on the slide, but it cannoned off the post. It was so close. Next up, another chance, a free kick just outside the box. The ball was lofted into the box, Kurzawa knocked it down, and Cavani hit it first time. An absolute rocket. The keeper Ter Stegen couldn't do a thing. 3-1, PSG had the away goal. Barcelona now needed 3. The miracle seemed to be slipping away, but Neymar still believed. On 88 minutes, the number 11 stepped up for the free kick. With absolute perfection, he curled it into the top corner. Trap was frozen. Just watching. 4-1. Neymar was on fire. A little later, Suárez went down in the box after a challenge with Marquinhos. The ref gave the penalty. It was a dodgy one, but Neymar didn't flinch. He coolly slotted it home to score the 5th. Only 1 more to go. Final seconds of the game. The tension was unreal. Neymar got the ball outside the box and chipped it in. The PSG defense just stopped, and the fullback Sergio Roberto popped up unmarked behind the back line to poke it into the back of the net. Assist from Neymar. 6-1. Pure chaos. Absolute scenes at the Camp Nou. The greatest comeback in Champions League history was complete. Barcelona were through, PSG were scarred for life, and the MSN trio, the guys who pulled off the impossible. The next game was in the Champions League semi-final of the 2018-19 season. Ajax versus Tottenham, a showdown between 2 underdog clubs that had knocked out giants. In the first leg, Ajax had already won 1-0 in London, but in the return leg, in Amsterdam, only 1 would survive. Ajax had already shocked the world by knocking out Real Madrid and Juventus, and they took the lead just 4 minutes in. A corner taken by the midfielder Shona from the right. De Ligt, the young center back, showed why he was the hottest prospect in Europe. Check out how he started from the edge of the box, attacked the near post, and outjumped the midfielder Dele Alli to power a header into the corner. The stadium went wild, 1-0 to the Dutch side. Tottenham were rattled, and on the 34-minute mark, another heavy blow. The midfielder Van de Beek drove the attack through the middle and played it to the winger Tadic on the left. The number 10 controlled it, looked up, and teed up the forward Ziyech at the edge of the box. The Moroccan hit an absolute rocket, first time. No chance for the keeper Loris. 2-0. It was Ajax playing like the good old days. It looked like game over for the English side. But in the second half, something changed. Tottenham came back out with a different vibe. More aggressive, more determined. Around the 54-minute mark, the counterattack finally clicked. Dele Alli ran with the ball through the center and dribbled past the defender blind. The ball fell to the feet of the forward Lucas Moura, who burst into the box at full speed. As the keeper Onana came out, the Brazilian calmly slotted it into the corner. That was the first one. Hope was reborn. A little later, more chaos, a goal-mouth scramble. The Ajax defense couldn't clear their lines. The ball fell to Lucas Moura, surrounded by 4 defenders. With a sensational turn, he made some space and finished with his left foot, right in the middle of everyone. Goal! That was his second. 2-2 in the game and 3-2 on aggregate. With the away goals rule, they just needed one more, and it came at the death. On the very last play, on 95 minutes, Dele Alli controlled it at the edge of the box and played a soft little touch. Lucas Moura got on the end of it, striking it with his left into the bottom corner. The ball kissed the back of the net. Unbelievable comeback, hat-trick, the unlikely hero, the most dramatic ending possible. Ajax were on the floor, Tottenham were in heaven, and Lucas Moura writing his name in Champions League history. The next comeback happened in the 2009 Confederations Cup final, Brazil versus the United States, a matchup that looked lopsided on paper but almost turned into a historic upset. And it took an epic comeback from the Seleção to avoid total embarrassment. Just 9 minutes in, the unexpected happened. Jonathan Spector, the American defender, got the ball with tons of space on the right and crossed it from deep. The forward, Clint Dempsey, popped up between the defenders and flicked it in first time with his right foot. The ball went into the corner past the keeper, Julio Cesar. Silence from the Brazilians. 1-0 to the United States. That was a massive blow, and the second goal felt like a gut punch. On 27 minutes, on a deadly counterattack, the forward Charlie Davies sprinted down the left and passed to the midfielder Landon Donovan at the edge of the box. The USA's number 10 coolly cut inside Ramirez and finished with his left foot into the corner. 2-0. The whole world was starting to believe in the upset. The Americans, who had already knocked out the European champion Spain, now had Brazil on the ropes. But the Brazilian squad had fire in their bellies and a legendary shirt on their backs. In the dressing room, the gaffer Dunga laid into them. And as soon as the whistle blew for the second half, the response came on the pitch. Less than a minute after the restart, the right-back Maicon passed to Luis Fabiano. The striker controlled it, turned with class, and smashed it into the corner with his left. No chance for the keeper, Tim Howard. It was the start of the fight back, 2-1. Brazil grew into the game. Kaká started running the show. Robinho was looking for space, and the pressure became unbearable for the Americans. On the 73-minute mark, another play started at Kaká's feet. The number 10 went down the left and sent in a low cross. Robinho got on the end of it, and his shot smashed against the crossbar. But on the rebound, Luis Fabiano was in the right place at the right time. He headed it in, completely unmarked, level on the scoreboard, 2-2. The Brazilians went nuts, but it wasn't over yet. Around 83 minutes, a corner for Brazil. The midfielder Elano stepped up to take it, a perfect cross, and the defender Lucio popped up at the back post and powered a header home. The ball flew in, no mercy. Come back, 3-2. The weight of the shirt made the difference. The talent shone through, and Brazil lifted the Confederations Cup trophy with a champion's comeback. A warning to the world. The Seleção was alive and kicking, and still a giant. This next match had a performance that was out of this world. It was match day 6 of the 2015-16 Bundesliga season. A clash between the champions and the runners-up from the previous season, Bayern Munich versus Wolfsburg. The stage was the Allianz Arena. At the start of the game, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but what came next was insane. Wolfsburg came out flying. High press, intensity, and courage. On 25 minutes, Julian Draxler moved forward through the middle and found Caligiuri on the right wing. The number 7 controlled it, burst into the box, and unleashed a rocket across goal. No chance for Neuer. 1-0 to Wolfsburg. Silence in Munich. Bayern were stunned and finished the first half without a real response. Guardiola was fuming on the bench, and he decided to make a change. Robert Lewandowski came on at halftime, and what he did next, nobody would ever forget. Just 5 minutes into the second half, the magic began. Thomas Müller broke into the box, and the defender Dante went in with a slide tackle. Lewandowski popped up unmarked, hitting it first time into the empty net. Level on the scoreboard, 1-1. A minute later, the winger Douglas Costa found the number 9 at the edge of the box. Lewandowski took a touch and slotted it into the bottom corner for another one. 2-1 Bayern. It was the start of an avalanche. On the very next play, the ball came from the right. On a counter-attack, the midfielder Mario Götze passed to the number 9 at the back post, and Lewandowski hit the woodwork. On the rebound, the keeper Benaglio tried to close down the angle, but the Polish striker smashed the follow-up to bulge the net again. 3 goals in 4 minutes. 3-1 Bayern, unreal, but he didn't stop there. In the 60th minute, a sick run from Douglas Costa down the left. The Brazilian crossed it into the middle of the box. Lewandowski came flying in like a rocket to smash another one into the net. That was the 4th, 4-1. The Allianz Arena was already going going wild, and there was still more to come. On the next play, the fullback Philipp Lahm crossed from the right. Lewandowski entered the scene once again, this time a first-time volley that left the keeper with absolutely no reaction. A worldie of a goal. 5 goals in 9 minutes. The comeback turned into a thrashing, and the thrashing became a legend. Robert Lewandowski went down in history with the most insane performance in the Bundesliga. 5 goals in less than 10 minutes. An epic, brutal, and unbelievable comeback. Wolfsburg didn't know what hit them. Bayern had a superhero on the pitch. And this next comeback cemented Atletico de Madrid as Cristiano Ronaldo's favorite customer. The stage was the Allianz Stadium in Turin. It was the second leg of the Champions League round of 16 in the 2018-19 season. Juventus needed a miracle. In the first leg, in Madrid, Atletico won 2-0, and they were dominant. Cristiano Ronaldo was provoked for the full 90 minutes, on top of being booed, challenged, and mocked. But he told everyone to chill. He made the gesture with his hand, showing he had 5 Champions League titles, and the Italian team knew that with him, the comeback was on. Juventus came out pressing from the very first touch of the ball. On 26 minutes, the winger Bernardeschi led a counterattack and crossed it from deep. At the back post, like a rocket, Cristiano appeared behind the full-back Juan Fran and headed it into the goal. 1-0, Turin erupted. But there was still a long way to go. Atletico, with their classic back five, were defending deep. Time was ticking by, the tension was building, but Cristiano seemed to be carrying Juventus all on his own. Just 1 minute into the second half, the fullback Cancelo pushed up the right and sent in a cross. Cristiano leaped into the stratosphere and headed it towards the top corner. Oblak got a hand to it, but the ball had already crossed the line. The ref looked at his watch. Goal confirmed. 2-0, all square on aggregate. The impossible was now possible. Atletico were shook. Simeone was speechless on the bench. Juve believed. The whole stadium was buzzing to Cristiano's rhythm until, on 84 minutes, Bernardeschi produced a moment of magic. He beat the midfielder Correa inside the box with pure strength and skill, but the Argentine pushed the number 33 in the back. Penalty! And there was zero doubt about who was going to take it. Cristiano stepped up to the spot, took a deep breath, ran up and smashed it into the bottom left corner. Oblak went the other way. Hat-trick Cristiano, the man who turns revenge into an art form. 3-0 Juventus, comeback complete. An epic qualification, and Atletico de Madrid, one of the Portuguese legend's favorite victims, fell once again to their tormentor. Cristiano Ronaldo, with another legendary performance, proved that as long as he's on the pitch, the game is never over. And if you've watched the video this far, you've got to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out these videos popping up on your screen, because I'm sure you'll dig them. They're part 1 and part 2 of this video. My name is Christian Castro, and I'll catch you in the next one.